Okay, 4
That's
o'clock.
computer time, Eastern Daylight Time, computer time.
Okay, now at 4:01, I'll call the meeting to order. I would like to thank you, those on Zoom, those that are here in the conference room, and also those that are guests that have either called in by phone or whatever. I want to thank you all for joining us. The reason, as you know, is to discuss budget adjustments in relation to Prop 46. And I'm going to defer to the Finance Director, Karen Fitzpatrick, and I'm going to turn the camera around to her at this point.
Thank you, Jay. First of all, I'd like to make an announcement. Number one, these adjustments are not based on this current year. It's based on the original request that came in January that we have been presenting to the Board of Finance over the last 3 meetings. As I go through this, if we could wait till the end for questions, it would probably make us get through it a little bit faster. Also, I need to apologize. The proposed budget that was on the website for this meeting, there was an error. One of my formulas did not work. Again, it's a draft, but we have it corrected. And again, our adjustments are not changed. It was just the final number. Again, my apologies. I think we have it corrected. So I'm going to start by the adjustments that Jay and I have discussed and had sent over to Chan and Greg for review. And then again, when we're done, we can have time for questions. So first, I'd like to start with the Selectmen's budget on page 1. We have a decrease of $1,500 in dues and conferences. The assessor, page 2, we have a decrease in the department head salary of $470. We have a decrease in part-time staff of $83. And we have a decrease in $2,400 for a part-time intern. Again, some of these decreases may seem small, but what we were trying to do is pretty much make the salary increases rounded to about 2%.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. What I would like to say is the town still welcomes volunteer interns. We just feel that if we have one department with a paid intern and not other departments who are able to get interns from either high school or college students, it wouldn't really be fair to pay some and not others. So we felt that it was best to just have them on a volunteer basis. And if anybody would love to be an intern for the town of Woodstock, please contact the First Selectman's office. I'm going to continue now to page 4, the Finance Department. We have a $1,300 decrease in the part-time treasurer line item. On page 6, election, we reduced the department head salaries by $279, and we also reduced the part-time staff by $1,500. Originally, when we had spoken with the registrars, they were under the assumption we were still in the midst of COVID and felt that we may have to have upcoming elections held in a different location, which would require more staff. And we think at this point, we may not have to have as many as originally planned. On page 7, probate, there's a minimal increase of $70. We were blessed with an invoice for 3 consecutive years of film storage and had not budgeted for it because they never presented it in their budget proposal. Insurance and benefits. Bonds, there are now the need for 5 individuals to be bonded, and that would be the finance director, the bookkeeper / current assistant treasurer, the new interim treasurer, the tax collector, and the tax collector assistant. We had a decrease of $3,400 in Social Security, a decrease of $795 in Medicare, a decrease of $14,204 in pension, a decrease of $21,320 in Teamsters health insurance. And for this department, it was an overall decrease of $39,444. Now, these decreases are based on salary reductions and not including a 10th full-time highway employee. Page 14, land use. This is a new department, as some of you may be aware, that we're trying to create for addressing all land use needs, including planning and zoning and wetlands and zoning board of appeals, etc. We're going to reduce the dues and conference line item by 2,000 because we're going to hold off for a year on training for a certified technician. This was something that's not reflected in the current spreadsheet that you have. This was an afterthought after last evening speaking with our current zoning officer. Next, we have page 18, general government boards and commissions. We had a slight increase with the historic district budget of $35, and we're going to decrease open space by 20,000. Open space originally, I believe, had in this current budget about 22,500. We're going to give them 30,000, which is an increase over this current year, but it's still not quite the amount they're looking for. However, as in the past, there is money funded through the, or I should say, on our capital plan for potential funding through CNR if the need arises. Building official, page 19. We reduced the department head by $1,456, and we reduced the full-time staff by $1,474. That is an actual union position, and those salaries are in negotiations as we speak. One thing I did want to mention about our building official, it has been a very busy season for them. There was a record high in this current month of March of close to $23,000 in building permits. I have seen it fluctuate over the past several months. Some months had 6,000 to 9,000. So this was a really big increase. After speaking with Jay and the building official, although we would love to give him more, at this time we're considering increasing him to 33 hours. We'll give him some extra office time, giving him a little bit more flexibility in his schedule, and increasing his salary to $36 an hour. We really believe that's meeting him halfway and showing a good effort that we're trying to work with him for his outstanding performance on the job. Public safety, page 23. 911 emergency system, which is our Quinebaug dispatch. There was an increase of 1,058. Unfortunately, in the original budget, they just had not submitted theirs, so we used last year's numbers. Woodstock EMS, which is our ambulance. The original increase was over 98,000. We decreased that by 66,318. And what that means is they will still get 32,000 over this current fiscal year, with hopes they'll be able to provide 2 additional 6-hour shifts and salary increases for current staff. During questions, I'm going to probably let Mike Doherty go over that in more detail. Our highway department, unfortunately, we're not able to fund a 10th full-time driver laborer, so that was reduced 54,600. However, based on the highway director / foreman, he would like to see one of the current members become an assistant foreman to help out with some of those duties, so there will be funding for that. Page 29, redemption of debt. Originally, we came in at a little over 98,000 as a decrease in debt over last year. We have decided to decrease it by another 40,000. After speaking with our highway foreman, John Navarro, he is going to purchase the dump truck with Town Aid Road grant funds. So this will now create a total decrease in debt of $138,913. That being said, the new fiscal year general government proposed budget is $5,476,387, or approximately 0.70% over the current fiscal year ending June of 2021. For now, I guess we can have a discussion, and I'm going to send you back to Jay.
Okay. I basically, I would defer to Chan and Greg. Do you have any comments or questions?
No, I mean, we knew this was coming, and I think we did our due diligence by presenting what was requested. And we know because of the constraints of Prop 46 that we were going to have to come down, and all of these cuts make sense to me.
One of the things, I just as a follow-up, I want to mention, any of you that have seen my presentations before, I prefaced it by saying we presented to the Board of Finance and interested parties the request by the various departments, because I didn't feel it was fair for me to try to, convince John that he didn't need this, or Paul, he didn't need that. And this was, what they submitted based on what they felt they needed to do their jobs. And again, these figures that Karen presented today is based on the Prop 46 calculations that she did. So that she just gave you the bottom line of where we're at now. Greg, did you have a comment or question? Or
I think that I'm extremely pleased to see that the EMS will be increased by 32,000, as Karen said, to result in the addition of 2 additional 6-hour shifts. There's a real need to have the EMS on site as much as we can afford to do. So this is I think terrific, and I hope it holds. Thank you for taking care of that.
Does anybody else have comments? Any general public or guests that are not on Zoom, or again, specific to the EMS issues? If you want to, Mike Doherty has offered to answer any questions that people may have. So again, if there's anybody out there that has questions or comments, we're certainly open to hear them. Do you have any?
Could you repeat what the dollar income is, what the dollar total is, and what % increase that is?
The percent increase is 1.07%. What? No?
Hi, Suzanne. Sorry. Again, I apologize. My original spreadsheet was not correct due to an error in one of my formulas. The actual number is $5,476,387, or approximately 0.70% over this current fiscal year, ending June of 2021.
2%, you said? 2.0?
No, 0.70.
So 0.7.
Not even a percent. The general government is like 3.45%, but with the decrease in debt, it reduces it down to a total overall of a 0.70% over the current year.
And in dollars, it's how much?
Approximately, we made approximately $189,661 in adjustments. So the current overall budget is
5476, 387.
$5,476,387.
And I think her question was, how much in dollars is that an increase over
last year?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't write it down, and I apologize. I was rushing to get to this meeting. So if you could just give me 1 minute, I will tell you. It should be right on my current spreadsheet. So $177,634 over last fiscal year on the general government end.
Would you repeat that? 177?
177,634 on the general government operations. There is a decrease of $138,913 on redemption of debt. So there's an overall increase of $38,721 over last fiscal year, which is a 0.70, approximately a 0.70%.
38,000 and what?
38,721.
Okay, thank you.
Suzanne, any other questions for me?
Nope.
Okay, I'm going to refer back
Thank
to
you.
Jay. Yeah, you're welcome.
Anybody, I can't read the names that are on the screen.
Suzanne and Diane.
Okay, Diane Miller, and there may be others. Are there any other questions or comments? You?
I just have a question. Is this based on the Board of Finance going to the max of 46?
Hopefully, yes. Yes, hopefully.
Michael, do you have any indication if that's the board's intent?
It's very hard to say right now, Chan, to be perfectly honest with you, because they're looking at the 664, 799, which is currently the max of the Prop 46 that we can go to, as well as the $98,913 that's rolled over in the savings from debt reduction, which would actually give you the possibility, all things being in the best circumstances, we could actually have $763,712 available to spend. I don't believe that's going to happen because we do have a shortfall in our expected revenues from last year's budget total of about $501,166. So whatever increase we have in the budget has to be added to that. And if we did in fact go to the maximum of Prop 46 and kept the $98,913 rollover there, that would be an increase of the equivalent of 1.62 mils. And as we all know, for better or for worse, that's not going to happen, because 1.62 mil increase, if that's the way it was decided, that would amount to actually a 6.6% increase to the average taxpayer's bill.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. Are there any other questions or comments?
I just have one comment, and I'm not sure I understand this totally, but you know, in the 665,000 or whatever that number is of the allowable under Prop 46, a big chunk of that is for special education. And do I understand, you know, so if we take that money out, let's say we get down to 400,000, that's basically what we could have for additional expenditures this year. And boy, that's not a lot of money. It's going to be tough. And, you know, you've got contractual salary increases, insurance increases, and all that.
Michael.
Actually, Suzanne, that would come down to about $443,000 is what's available.
Right. It's kind of shocking, I think. You know?
Yes, in fact it is. But what we have to understand is we haven't had a tax increase in the last 3 years. It's been the mill rate has been 24.5. I am not a proponent of raising the mill rate, but we know that we have to keep up with the times. There's certain services that we have to provide, but a 1.62 mil increase, I believe, is actually outrageous. I don't think that the taxpayers would ever vote for that. So no matter how we go, my personal opinion, this has nothing to do with the Board of Finance, but my personal point of view, looking at all the numbers, is that there is going to be some portion of that is going to have to go on additional taxes. Some is going to have to come from the reserve account. And the problem with taking money from the reserve account is this is basically what we've been doing for the last 3 years. We've stayed at the 24.5 mil rate, and we've been kicking the can down the road. And everything, as you know, go down and buy a loaf of bread or a can of peas. The prices have gone up. The price of everything has gone up. In particular, labor, because of just the normal process, and then with the COVID on top of that, I mean, we have to take a stand here and make some definite decisions on what we're going to do and what we're looking for in the future.
Mike, can I make a comment?
Go ahead.
The one comment I want to make, just for people in general who may watch this video later on, who may not always understand how our government works, is that even if we did increase the mill rate, it still doesn't provide spending power for the town. We still have to stay within the restrictions of Prop 46. So regardless if we dip into the general fund or raise the mill rate, it doesn't change the allowable that we can spend. And I think a lot of people need to know that. So I've had people question that, you know, like, oh, why don't we just raise the mill rate so that way we can have the money we need? And that's not always 100% accurate. So, you know, if you go to the allowable, which we showed on that Prop 46, it's still 1.62 mils. It's how we fund it. If you drop the allowable, at the end of the day, if we're not willing to go up with the mill rate to what we really need, we're still going to have to dip into the general fund, but it really doesn't give us the spending power we need, because that's restricted with Prop 46.
You are absolutely correct.
Thank you.
We have any other questions or comments? All right, Greg, you're good?
I appear to be good. Thank you.
Okay.
I'm good.
All right, and Chan's good. Okay. Can I hear a motion to approve the fiscal 22 budget adjustments in compliance that we discussed this afternoon and presented to you? Do I hear a motion? Okay, so moved.
So moved.
Thank you. In agreement? All right, it's unanimous. All three of us agree. Okay, that's it. I would like to thank you all for participating. I appreciate your interest, your participation, and your questions. Again, we're moving forward with this. Oh, Michael, I'm sorry.
That's all right. I was waiting to see if you called on any more comments, but I just want to say, as a citizen, taxpayer, and voter in the town of Woodstock, and also as a member of the Board of Finance, I have to applaud you people for what you've done with the budget. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you.
Thank you for what you've done.
Yes, thanks for your support.
Okay, since we're in agreement and we've moved forward, this is a continuing saga, if you will, but we just finished the latest chapter. Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
Question.
Yes, sir.
Do we now move these numbers to the Board of Finance for their discussion next week?
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
They came back to us, we discussed, we agreed,
Yes.
and then it's our contention, if you will, that this is appropriate based on Prop 46. So
Yeah.
since the three of us are in agreement, it would move forward from there.
Okay.
All right, could I hear a motion to adjourn, please?
So move.
Okay, in agreement? Greg, thank you. All right, thank you, everybody.
Yep, good night.
And Mike, thanks for the kind words. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Mike.
Gentlemen, good job. And Karen, excellent as always. I appreciate what you've done.
Thank you. I apologize for my formula error. You know that that's not like me.
Yes, I do. I know it's not like you at all.
I really apologize.
It's okay, kid.
All right. Thank you.